What's going on, guys? This is a bit of a different video. I'm taking a cue from Asmongold and Moist Critical and Sam Hyde by making this recording, so you can thank them for inspiring me. And also every other streamer on YouTube for the past 15 or almost 20 years now. Good God, I'm getting old. Anyway, this is just going to be me showing off my PoE1 build. I figured because PoE1 has been getting a lot of hype lately, and I'm probably like 2 weeks late for the hype train, but I'm going to make it anyway. This is not going to be one of my crazy rants. This is going to just be a video about the build. We're going to focus on that. So this is my epic character right here, Frotmagus, and I just hit level 84 a little while ago. I'm following a build guide, which I'm going to link in the description. It's the Ice Nova Frostbolt's meta meme build. And I should clarify that I am no expert at this game. I had never played it until PoE2 came out. Then I played PoE2 and I was like, this is cool, but I'm not going to invest more time in a character that's getting deleted when the full version of that game comes out. So I was like, well, I might as well try PoE1. And I love it. It's one of the best games I've ever played. Straight up. It's very fucking good. Sam, if you're watching this, you should play this. Asmongold, you've been playing this for years, man. I don't have to tell you that. But anyway, this is the build here, and it's fairly common to the point where a lot of the stuff I was... just going to get a map here. It's fairly common to the point where a lot of the gear I was looking for was kind of expensive, so I had to save up a bunch of money. And I'm using most of the recommended gear. What do we want to do here? Let's do a graveyard map. So I was using basically pretty scuffed gear up until I was able to get enough chaos to afford what I needed, and then I was able to buy, really it was this ring that cost the most, Death Rush, to get a 3-second adrenaline proc, and then the wand and the shield weren't that bad. The gems were the most expensive thing, just getting Frost Blink and getting Ice Nova. That was the hardest thing by far, because these gems are not cheap, even though it's like close to the end of the season or the end of the league. You know, things are still pretty expensive. So enough of me yapping. Let's get to it here. Let me just turn the sound on so you can actually hear what's going on. I'm not going to make it too loud. I don't want to drown myself out here. It doesn't really matter if you can hear the game, but again, I literally just finished this build like yesterday, so I'm still sort of learning the ropes of the new movement, because you use a different version of this build to do the campaign and early game mapping. You use you use Firebolt instead of Frostbolt, and I just switched over to the new stuff, so my movement speed is totally crazy now. And a buddy of mine helped me make some boots. Shout out to him. But yeah, basically I'm just going to show this off because it's a great build. There's plenty of other people who've been using it, but it really is pretty disgusting. Again, I'm only level 84, and my DPS is like 25,000, and I can burn through maps at a ridiculous speed, ludicrous speed, you might say. And I'm not going to, go around looting. I'm just going to kind of show things off here. Again, I'm not used to being able to blink around this fast, so I end up getting stuck on objects still. But yeah, basically you can make this build. What appealed to me when I was looking up what build to use in my first playthrough of this game was the low cost of this. You don't have to spend a ton of time farming to get the uniques that you need and to get the gems, because once you've gotten into early game maps, you can just use is it Firestorm? I think it's Firestorm. You can use that to just get your character up to, like, honestly, I could do tier 5 maps before I got Ice Nova. I'm not using exactly the recommended gear at this point because I like to be a little more tanky because I kind of suck still. So I'm sacrificing mana regen and probably some DPS for just survivability, just until I really get a hang of things. But this build is kind of nuts. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, guys. The Ice Nova Frostbolt situation is crazy. So again, I'm going to link the build in the description, just so you guys can copy this if you want for the next league. I'm probably going to just make the same build again. I might try something different. I don't know. But once this character gets shuffled into standard, I'm probably just going to remake him in League and see how far I can get doing the same thing, basically. But yeah, we've already finished this map. Again, it's only a tier 5. It's really low tier, but I'm trying to progress through maps so I can get my Atlas finished. So I'm not going to do like a T10 and, you know, die on camera like a scrub. I'll do that later when if I keep leveling this build, which I'm planning on doing every now and then. I kind of want to level this build a little more and see if I can get to T17s. But we'll see. Again, yeah, the build's pretty straightforward here. I'll do a little overview. Again, you can find the same overview in the other videos I'm going to link, but I'm going to try to do it quick and dirty here. So basically, we're using Ice Nova Frostbolts in a 4-link blue setup with Archmage, Spell Echo, and Lightning Penetration. These are low level because I just switched into them, except for my Archmage gem, which I've been using since the beginning of the game. And then you have Frostblink for movement linked with faster casting support and another version of Archmage in a triple blue. And then you have Kitava's Thirst here, which, funnily enough, I didn't have to buy. I actually got this as a drop, which was kind of crazy. And in this piece of gear, we're using Frostbolt with greater multiple projectiles, returning projectiles, and punishment. So every time we do our dash, it's actually supposed to proc punishment. I think it is. Or it's every time we do this. Yeah, there we go. It's every time we cast Ice Nova, it's proccing punishment. And then we have, for our mana, we have Clarity kept at level 1 for now. Until you finish the campaign, really, you're supposed to keep it at 1, and I haven't been leveling it yet, because it does increase in its cost, and it kind of sucks your mana down. And then lastly, we just have Eternal Blessing and Determination in a red setup, and then we have Sigil of Power for bosses. So that's basically it. The gear I'm using that was recommended is this wand, Moon Sorrow. Kitava's Thirst is a must for this. Sathel's Frame, Immortal Flesh, and then Death Rush. The gear I'm not using that I'm supposed to be using for this build, there's an amulet that was recommended, and it's basically for, I think, later when you get into mapping, your mana starts to get eaten up faster, and mine isn't really being eaten up, so I'm just going for pure damage. So I got this as a drop, so I'm just using it to get extra DPS. But basically, what you're supposed to be using is this at Series Foible, again for mana and mana regen, and then, like I said earlier, I'm kind of configured for better survivability at this point. What I'm supposed to be using according to the build guide is this Comb's Heart, Replica Comb's Heart. And again, it just gives you a ton of mana, and it increases your DPS. But I really like the armor and the energy shield from this, and the max life, the resists, of course. My resists right now are pretty good, low 80s and everything, only 7% chaos, but again, with Immortal Flesh you get minus I think it's 15 to 21 or something of all resists, so you do have to account for that in your other gear, which for me was a huge pain in the ass. That's why I got a friend of mine to help me craft these boots, which give me some chaos and some fire resist. But that's basically it. I mean, that's the build. I'll level up Clarity, why not? But yeah. So, if you want me to make more of these videos, like and subscribe. This game's really fun. I'm probably going to keep playing it. I plan on making a series of videos when the next league starts, because I'm either going to remake this character, or I'm going to try a different build when that league starts, which is pretty soon, I think. I think it's in like a couple days or a week or something like that. But yeah, again, I make these videos for fun. I don't make them for money or for views. I will not put ads on my stuff. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have any of that stuff. I just make them because it's fun. So if you're having fun watching, just like and subscribe would be appreciated, of course. And more content of various crazy types to come in the future. So again, thanks for your viewership. Thanks for your support, those of you who are watching. And as always, peace out. Kawaii.